Hello and welcome to Standpoint. Of course, today we are talking about local government autonomy. While the Supreme Court's landmark ruling affirming financial autonomy for Nigeria's local governments and condemning the dissolution of elected councils by state governors had elicited excitement, the conduct of local government elections across states may have dashed hopes of many who wished for genuine change. Despite the ruling, which disallows governors from appointing caretaker chairmen for local councils, outcomes across states have revealed entrenched practices and raised fresh calls for a national body to take over local government elections. This is Standpoint. I am Theophilus Ilama. Well, the July 11th Supreme Court judgment, which opened a 3-month window for states to organize elections or risk losing federal allocations for their local councils, led many states to schedule elections, as the rush even extended to Anambra State, which hadn't held local elections in more than 10 years. Some observers expressed a concern that leaving the state governments in charge of conducting elections would negate the purpose of the ruling, even though the apex court's ruling had sparked interest and hope in achieving democratic dividends at a local level through periodic elections. As a result, some stakeholders pushed for the dissolution of state electoral commissions and the empowerment of the Independent National Electoral Commission to assume responsibility for the administration of local elections. As debate continued, at least 15 states have conducted their local government elections with results that observers and analysts say reflect a predictable pattern. Ruling parties swept every council seat in nearly all cases. I have joining me in the studio two gentlemen who are stakeholders in the local politics of Nigeria. Joining me in the studio is Ayodele Adewale, and he is the immediate past chairman of Amuwadofin local government in Lagos State, while Mayowa Adeoye is the president, Brighter Future and Change Ambassadors, are also serving as the senior legislative aide for Shomolu Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Good afternoon.
All right, so we're talking about the local government elections, and of course we have seen situations where state governors, where the elections are held in different local governments, and the ruling party sweeps the elections, sweeps the win in the local government elections. Let me start with Ayo. In this case, is it a case of the ruling party using its might to win elections in local councils?
I wouldn't say so. I would say, well, it showcases the popularity of the party within that area.
Okay.
And of course, the will and caprices of the people in most cases.
Mm-hmm. Wow. The popularity of the party in that area, are you saying that other parties are not as popular?
Other party might be popular,
okay,
right? But again, the ruling party have only shown their entrenchment within that system. And definitely people have come out to cast their votes. And if people feel otherwise, it is encouraged that they follow the rules and put forward their petition and bring forth very good evidence in order to prove their case, if it goes otherwise.
Okay. All right, let's go to Mr. Mayowa Adeoye on this matter. Do you share the same sentiment?
Yes, I would say almost the same thing you have said. Because I could remember some time ago in my local government, during the election, in a particular ward, there was another party who won in that ward as a councillor. And he performed very well, even with our own people. You understand? So I would say it depends on how popular you are. And, you know, the ruling party, especially in Lagos, I can only speak for Lagos State, they make use of the best. And they also do what I can refer to as political poaching. Okay. Even if you are from another party, you're good, you're popular, your people like you. They look for a way to draw you closer. They give you an enabling environment for you to excel, in political community. So bringing you together, they bring you in, they invite you, they give you that enabling environment, and you feel free joining the party. So that's why you see them, in recent times you see that they clear everywhere. They know what they're doing. When you're popular, you're with them. So it's a game.
Okay, when you're popular, you're with them. But do opposition parties have a fair chance in all of this?
Looking
at the fact that state governors of the ruling party always ensures that the local government they win the elections in the local government. Do opposition party really have a fair chance?
They have. I just spoke about one. That in my local government, PDP won in a ward.
That's just
it has to say no. You can say just one. It speaks about the performance of the state government. If your state governor is not performing, it will go down to the grassroots, and people will vote against you.
Okay.
You understand? It's always been very fair. It's always been very fair. And if you're popular, if you're from another party, you win. Have you forgotten? In Motion, there was this Honorable Kako. Mm-hmm. He won in Lagos State. You understand? If you're popular, you're popular. So if you see that the popularity and the fact that you're good in that community, we can draw you closer. We'll bring you in because we want the best. Okay. That's why you see them clearing. So, and APC is performing very well. They're envy. So it shows how good we are.
Okay. Okay. So you were a local government chairman at a point, at Amodofi, at a point, the youngest local government chairman in Lagos history. And do local governments have the wherewithal to ensure developments in their local governments?
Of course they do. I was the youngest in my time, not in Lagos history.
Yeah.
If you look at the history of Lagos, there have been younger people that have come, pre-independence and all of that. But again, every local government has its own peculiarity, and there's nobody stopping anyone, from performing. It all depends on the program you have and the focus that you are hinged on, and the ability to generate both capital resource and, of course, human resource in order to push your program forward, and your ability to also communicate with people within your jurisdiction in order to get their buy-in, to doing what you ought to do. Nobody has stopped the local government helmsman from thinking out of the box or even working internationally. I remember while I was there in 2008, 2014, we did have programs with the U.S. Consulate and the British Deputy High Commissioner's Office, to the extent that the consular, then Hawkins, do visit the local government intermittently, and we relate on programs. During the U.S. Independence Day, the U.S. Marines will visit Nigeria. We will do medical outreach at the riverine communities and all. And I had the opportunity of also going there and engaging in sister city programs. And for the UK High Commission Office, through Mr. Peter Carter and Mrs. Valeria Godo, who was then a member of the British UKTI then. They took us to UK. We discussed with over 40 investors and all of that. We did a lot of training, even PPP master training with them, to improve on our capacity and all. And working with Alpha Beta, we were able to improve on our revenue, because when I came in 2008, October that year, the revenue was 30,000 naira. But when I was leaving, October same year, in 2014, I left a revenue of over 23 million naira per month, right? So working with Alpha Beta, working with Heged, working with the community, we were able to improve on our revenue in order to, carry out more functions.
Looking at all you have said, and of course, there are times that I have been to Amodofi when you were local government chairman, and I understand all you've said, but after that, in recent times or so, some local government chairmen will always say, no revenue, there's no revenue, they don't know how to. Is it about creativity?
Anybody that tells you that is only lying. there's revenue.
Are you saying that with authority?
I'm telling you authoritatively,
Okay.
right? I've been there, and I'm still within the corridor of power. So there's revenue, right? It depends on how you apply your revenue to improve your development, right? And I will leave it at that. And like I said, you must also be able to work with human capital. When I was in government, when I came October 2008, I met one doctor for the whole local government. And I reached out to the NYSC and discussed with them. So intermittently, they will send more doctors in addition to other disciplines within the core member stream and all of that. Then I also work with the military, the Nigerian Army, barracks or JAW, right? They also have intern. They send their medical intern in. Then I also work with the retirees. So while I was leaving, I left 63 doctors, medical doctors, that were working in shifts on payroll. And we also use PPP to work with Sun Lab and L Lab. We brought medical laboratory facility to the local government because a doctor cannot fully diagnose without having recourse to the medical lab. And we also work with Profis Pharmaceutical to give free drugs. So we gave people free drugs from 0 to 16 and 60 and above, and delivery was free. We also gave them delivery kits. We deliver over 3,000 babies, right? And we render services everywhere. So you can't tell me that there are no capital within the local government. Remember, you get federal allocation. In Lagos State, nobody touch your federal allocation, right? You also have the ability to generate revenue. So putting these streams of revenue together, you have enough funds. And we also worked on infrastructure, right? We built several roads. We almost went on 0 potholes, right? I made 20 schools that were in a very worrisome condition. We rehabilitated the old 20. We built more. We put in place 2 cleaners and 1 gardener. So there was no need for any people to go to school and sweep, right? We produced notebooks like Jaconde did. We produced school uniforms. We gave free jam form, right? 600 jam form, 500 jam form, 600 GCE forms, and we worked with the NUT for 6 years. It
was done with the internally generated revenue.
And it was for free. It was for free. And if you doubt me, go to YouTube, type Comrade Ayodele Adewale Positive Impact. You see a documentary that was put together by Dejibade Mosi, the CNN award-winning journalist, right? And it showcases 2 years, the first 2 years of administration, showing to you what we were able to do.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Adeoye, in all of this now, the local governments truly have, yes, the government has ensured local government autonomy, but do we truly have autonomy in the real sense? Financial autonomy, political autonomy, in every sense of the word?
Well, I would say we're moving towards that area. If there was financial autonomy, there won't be any need for this recent judgment. You understand? It needs to go across the old 26 states and the FCT. We're getting to very close to that area, that time when the local governments will be more independent and be free, to perform extraordinarily well because they are the closest, government to the people. And if you don't give them that opportunity to excel, to perform, to reach out to people, they won't smell or perceive growth. So if you want them to perceive growth and development, there is need for you to give them that freedom. Freedom to...
Do we see that happening?
Yes. Yes. It's already happening in Lagos.
I'm not talking about Lagos alone itself. All around the 36 states.
Here in Lagos, we started since 2003,
trying
to bring government very close to the people. You understand? It has yielded more than 100% positive results. You can see what is happening in Lagos. Other states are looking, towards Lagos. They want to be like, they are even praying, let Lagos happen to us. It's because we have visionary leaders. Now a local government, you can see what's happening under Ayodele local government. You know what's happening? It's SCDA. You can see what it's doing there. That is a project that a state government can do in other states. and bring in the world, the journalists to come and see. That's what the local government is doing. We're moving closer to that phase in which we have a very big competition coming in. That even the Lagos state, the state governments, let me just generalize, the state government will have to sit right, you understand, and up their game.
What will lead us to that point?
That is what we are seeing now. This financial autonomy is taking us there. Okay. I can see it happening. It's just like a father in a family. If you have a business, you have money coming in, you'll be free to say, okay, I'm taking my child to this school, I'm doing this in my family, I'm doing it, I will need a car, I will do this. But if the money is not coming directly to you, you won't be able to decide. Even if you have an idea, the idea will die in you. So that financial autonomy will enable them, especially the chairman. They are elected chairman. You can't say they can't perform. Who are you to even say they can't perform? Mm-hmm. If they have been voted for by their people, you allow them to perform that responsibility. Give them funds to do whatever is needed to be done. Then if they don't do it right, or if there is financial mismanagement, then we have EFCC there, we have ICPC that will come in and do it. Not, you can't say local government cannot perform or they don't have the capability. They have. They have, 100% sure of that. And by the time we start fully, you will see what will happen. The state governments will run. Yes.
You want to add something there?
Well, my add-on is that the local government have enormous capacities. And if these capacities are allowed to flourish, the federal government will have little or less things to do. Likewise, the state government. Because the local government governance structure is the closest to the people. And in most developed climes, it is the mayor that they know. Yeah. They hardly know who is heading the province or who is heading the federal, right? People are closest to their mayors, and they hold their mayors accountable. And you see municipalities, local government, even owning airports, right? Some of them own seaports, right? And they do a lot. They have their police structure, and they have so many things working for them, right? And they create more of employment and opportunities. So I feel that Nigeria also have the same capacity. I mean, if you look at pre-independence, you see what local governments were able to do, especially the Lagos Island municipality and all of that. And many of them across the country, they were doing a lot, right? Even post-independence, they were doing so many things. So it can still happen.
How can how can local government effectively manage their finances and resources without state interference?
Everything already is in the book, is in the Constitution, okay, right? And you also have some in the administrative guidelines that was put together by the state houses of assembly. You must also remember that the Nigerian Constitution gives leverage to state houses of assembly, the state government, to create local government and to set rules and regulations for them. So everything is already written. There is no problem in it. Let people just key into the rules and regulation. The rule of law is supreme, and it will guide everybody aright.
Are the current constitutional provisions in the Constitution sufficient to guarantee local government autonomy?
Yes. Yes. How do you say someone is independent when he's not free to do certain things? You understand? The local government is very good, is very ready, and we have capable hands, especially the one I know of, okay, very close to me. They have the capability to perform very well. The Constitution is very clear about it. The Constitution is very clear about it, how to go about the administration, what to do, how you not, interfere into the state activities or their own, what they're supposed to do, how you will not interfere with the state and that of federal. You have what to do, that's been spelled out. Just follow suit, and you have promises. You know, you must have campaigned to your people. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going in line with the Constitution. And if you perform very well, you'll be returned. If you don't perform, it's just a 4-year thing or a 3-year thing. So it's spelled out in the Constitution. If a state can perform with a governor at the end of an affair, then others can perform as well. You understand? Because you are representing people, and you also do something that would make your people happy.
All right, so some years ago, governors were against local government autonomy. Now it has come to fruition. What's the role of the people in ensuring that local government are held to account?
You know the beauty of this? The beauty is that there is no, how do I put it? A chairman can be sued, can be taken to court, you can write a petition. A chairman can stand before a judge or a court of law. You know, you can actually do anything with them. This is the best time for us to get it right. If the local governments are performing very well, you know, they're up and doing, the load on the state governments would reduce drastically. They won't have more headache. They will be able to focus more on their own activities already entrenched in the Constitution. You understand? Even going into dipping eyes into the local government thing, it's just like giving the state governors, they already have enough. They already have enough. When the local governments, when they perform very well, the state governors will be happy. You know, they will even relax and be able to do extraordinary things. We want our nation, you know, to compete with the first countries, with the first nations over there, with the UK, with like US, with Canada. You know, there is nothing they are doing, you know, differently. It's just that's okay. Everything is spelled out. Everyone is performing its duties without interference. You understand? As a local government, as a mayor, you're performing your duties without anyone interfering, and it is what you do that people will judge you with. Not that, okay, a chairman is doing this and someone will say, no, it's the state governor that is saying he should do it, or that the state governor that is controlling. No. Whatever you do, it is in your name. So it will allow or enable the governor to also perform and focus on their own responsibilities.
So now the focus or the success of a ruling party is now dependent on the local government.
Yes, if whatever you are doing is not getting down to the people. Prior to the creation of the LCDs in Lagos, I know what Lagos was. I know some areas that, you know, even if we talk of like in the next 30 years or 40 years, maybe government may not even get closer to that area. I'm talking of like, if you go to like Akoka, we have the Agoigun side, the larger side. You know, before that 2003, 2004, you know, before a chairman can go down there, you know, you must have looked at the, you know, the developed areas, the areas you walk through, you drive through, you pass by, before you think of going into that area. But now, because of that division, the LCDAs too have been able to take governors down to the people. They have been able to take dividend of democracy down to the people. People are happy. You understand? You can't even say you want to scrap the LCDAs. I don't think it's possible. It's not possible in the sense that people are enjoying it. Right. We're enjoying the development. You know?
Okay. We have a lot to discuss on this development, but we'll have to take a quick break. And when we return, we'll be talking about the local government elections on Standpoint. Stay tuned.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move way in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known, for when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century, speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Sometimes it's the story that calls. At other times, the people just want to be heard.
School, I need students, but I need teacher.
Can't continue like this.
Their voices re-echoing through time itself.
We haven't done anything.
If the tide is high, everybody run for safety.
Their tears leave a sweet sour taste for all their demands, a familiar call beckoning for change. In our world, no one expects a disaster to happen. But when it does, we'll be there to x-ray all sides, from the east to the west, north and south. Committee Forum will examine the oddities and challenges to economic development, as well as issues yearning for government intervention. Watch fresh episodes of Committee Forum on Sundays by 9:30 p.m. only on TVC News.
Meet Benga Oreshegun, a fearless voice and an advocate for the truth. He's bringing fresh energy and bold insights to journalists' hangout.
Get ready for deeper analysis and dynamic perspectives. Join me and Babajide Kolade Otitoju with other veteran journalists on Journalists Hangout. Weekdays from 5 p.m. and on Sundays 1:30 p.m.
You're still watching Standpoint, and two guests are with me in the studio. The former local government chairman in Adeoye, Ayodele, is in the studio with us at this point of Adeoye local government area. Of Ayodele Adewale is in the studio with us, and followed by Adeoye, who is the president, Brighter Future and Change Ambassadors. Of course, he serves as the legislative aide to Shomodo Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. Gentlemen, we were talking about the local government autonomy in Nigeria. Of course, we have talked about how local government's autonomy is working in Lagos State, how local governments have brought development to the grassroots in Lagos State, and it needs to spread to other parts of the country. Now, I will go to Ayodele on this matter. Tracking of the funds that local governments receive. How do we do that, and how do we also track the projects that are being done in different local governments?
It's very easy. It's very easy. The federal government every month, they publish what is sent to the state and to the local governments. So it's out in the open. The local government also generates its own revenue. It can be tracked. It goes into their accounts, right? The local government also have a budget, right? They have a yearly budget that they send to the parliament, the councillors, and of course turn into a law. And there's something called the inflow and the outflow, right? So if anybody wants to track the local government revenue, and of course their budgetary performance, you just need to look at the inflow, look at the outflow, and juxtapose it on the budget. Okay. Because for any expenditure by the local government must be consistent with what is in the budget. Anything out of that budget becomes a crime. Okay. So if you want to track any local government for any undoing, just get their budget document, check their inflow, check their outflow, plug it together, and you see what you have.
I know back in the time you've at a point had town hall meetings.
Yes, definitely.
Do we still have that now? We don't really see that in local government.
From Fanon once said, every generation out of his own relative obscurity will determine his own mission, either to fulfill it or betray it. We have come and gone. You are giving an account of what you saw and what you read. Likewise, generations that have come after us, you also do same. You are in the best position to check it as a news man and as a media personality and all of that. But quite frankly, for any local government to perform very well, you need to engage your people. I said that earlier, that engaging the people, passing information should be seen as a project. Otherwise, even if you do a road close to his house and the people within the local government are not told, don't know about it, it becomes difficult for them to have trust in the administration and, of course, to pay their levies and taxes and all whatnot. So the local government information department must continuously engage the people through town hall meetings, strategic stakeholders meetings, security council meetings, producing bulletins. Like while I was there, I remember that we used to produce what was called Amuwo Praising. I started Amuwo Praising. It's 10,000 copies every week. It's an A4 paper, 4 pages put together. It's a newsletter. So you put in place what you've done within that week, the project you're doing, right? Ongoing, completed, the completed goes off. People who visited the local government, security agencies, phone number, you have the editorials, you have pictures, you have all of that. We give it out. And how do we do that? We work with the newspaper vendors. They put it at insertion into various newspapers. We have the data of all the resident association CDAs. We serve them. We also serve it through the schools, all primary schools, all eateries, all well-known established points that people go, the police station and all of that. Then even the House of Assembly, we take it there, the judiciary, the commissioners, everywhere, so you get it. Then we have our own, then it was Twitter, right? We have a Twitter handle. Then we have a website, right? Then we have what is called Amuwo Herald. It's more like Chief Dele Momodu's Ovation magazine. It's very colorful. That comes out every quarter. And we print about, we print 5,000 of that every quarter. Then we circulate it around and all of that.
So you took time to ensure that your constituents get information needed.
We're well informed.
We're well informed about your projects and all of that. But for Adeoye, are we doing that now in our various local governments?
Well, I think I know of the state assemblies. They do more of giving feedback, to the people, I think on maybe a monthly or quarterly basis. But I'm not too sure. Okay. I'm not too sure. I can't come out here to say, well, I don't know. I'm not too sure of the local governments, but that is just the way to go. That is the way to go. If you're not carrying your people along, that's why we see declining, in the trust people have in our politics. It keeps declining every year of election. Go and check the results. We have people who don't trust the system again. We don't even know what is going on because they don't know what's going on. That's why they will not participate in whatever you call them to do. So if you engage them, you give them information, frequent updates on what you're doing, what you have done, and what you feel like embarking on. All these things you're doing, it's in the interest of the people. You're doing it for them. You're not doing it for your family. You're spending people's money for the people. So you have to get them to know what is going on at the local government. You're spending their money for them. Even sometimes maybe thinking of doing project A for them. They might not even need it. If they even need another thing, maybe project B or project C. But if you don't communicate to them, you just feel, I want to do this thing because it's good, it's in UK, it's in US. If it's not what they need, you just do it, you just waste.
So this non-communication, how does it affect outcomes?
Number one, I just talked about the declining.
Yes,
trust. The trust and, people will not, if they lose trust in the government, how will you even be happy that you're serving people? They don't know what you're doing in the office. You have to give them periodic updates on what, you have to give them feedback. You have to update them. You have to update them. frequent, I think we call it a town hall meeting. Call people, call the CDAs, call the chiefs, the valets, let them come, with their people, update them. I plan to do this, I plan to do this, is what I have done, this is what I have done. Let them know. Even the bulletin my brother just mentioned, the way to go. They need to know because it is their money. This money is, we call it taxpayers' money. They have the right to know. If you don't do it, it means you're just like you're leading without people. If you're leading without people, you're detached. You're detached. So that's what I would say about that.
All right, so we have seen situations where you walk into the office of a local government chairman and he's not available. You understand what I'm talking about? He's not available, or you get there and you're just not allowed to see him. Can we walk into the local government chairman's office and just want to talk to him or just want to get information?
Yes, you can. You can.
Is it easy to do that?
It's about you giving your time. You have told them that you're going to give your time to them, right? Mm-hmm. When I came in 2008, I'll start my work around 8 a.m. and I close 3 a.m. And I did that for 6 years, right? The only time you don't see me in the office, maybe on a Sunday. Some Sundays I'm there. Okay. Or maybe I go abroad for training, right, or programs. So that was what I put in. There was even a time that the civil servant had to report me to the service commission that I was making them work after 4 p.m. And I said, no, I wasn't making them work after 4 p.m. They chose to stay. And when you choose to stay, there is a reward for it, right? And the only way you could get across to me, you don't need to go through anybody, just send a text message, right? As at that time, my people could get to me on Facebook, text message, and they could, there was one platform again, I'm trying to remember. You just send a message, right? And I always look at it. That is why if you look at my fingers, all the sides are dry because I'm always on the phone, right? Checking and many a time, what I do is that some of these things they're asking for don't really need my attention, okay, but they've put their query there, right, or their request. So what I did was to take that message, I'll pass it to the head of department or the head of unit, right, and I'll type to it that please, and your phone number would be there, call this person, resolve this problem, take a picture with this person and take a picture of that problem and let me know what you've done. So then it was BlackBerry Bolt 10 that was in fashion then. Like just as you have your Apple, iPhone 16,
Android phones and all of that.
That was the top of the range. So I bought it for all the head of department and head of units. Okay. Then I bought iPads for all the head of department, head of unit, all the counselors, all the supervisors. So you can't tell me that you don't have tools to work. Then we train them. Then some of them also bought laptops. Even if you have to go to the riverine, do a video of the issue. Show a video of before, during, and after the problem is solved. Then when you now send the report to me, I'll forward your report back to the person that has sent the message. That is why I have about 28,000 contacts on my phone. And the way I save those contacts, I'll write your name, where I met you, the day I met you, and all of that, or occasion, like just for me to remember. And all through the time, I have 28,000 contacts, right? So you must just be open to get them. But some people do use, they use what is called, what you call this here now, a visitors, there's a name they call it.
Logbook?
No, not logbook, a time where you can meet the chairman.
Okay.
You know, they choose maybe a day in the week or 2 days in the week, and they say you can come within the hours of 4 evening or hours of between 12 and 4. So it depends on what works for everybody. But you know, you must understand that I'm from the civil society, right? I have a civil society background. I have a student movement background. So we engage. So engaging people was not a big deal.
Okay, so do you also think that the actions of federal or state governments at most times undermine the autonomy of the local government?
Yes, in some places. But in Lagos State, they allow you, right? Nobody, you see, Lagos is very, very proactive, and maybe from from the background that Lagos is coming from, right? It has always been an inclusive thing, even before the advent of what do you call it now, independence, right? Lagos have always been inclusive. So everybody that have come into government or government in Lagos have continued with that tradition of inclusiveness, right? But if you go to some areas, they've been very elusive, and it has become a very, very terrible thing for their development. But if they can imbibe the culture in Lagos of being inclusive, let everybody come, regardless of your tendency, regardless of your reasoning, right? Put it on the table, let's engage, right? You can't be getting it right all the time, definitely, as long as you're in this mundane. So you tend to learn from people. And that is why during Asiwaju's time, Governor Fashola's time, cascading down, they've brought this system of a town hall thing and receiving and feedback and all of that. And that's why the president, many of the time, when the people talk a lot, put their position out there in the social media, he reads it, look at it, and respond to it. It's part of the inclusiveness of the Lagos system.
So let's talk about autonomy and decentralization now. What kind of changes, when I'm talking about, I mean structural changes, are needed to achieve true decentralization?
Okay, maybe I think like some are clamoring for inclusion of maybe INEC in the elections of the local governments. But I know that that's not the way to go.
What's the way?
But we have to start from the elections that bring in the chairman. As the structure I believe we need to first put in place. Like in Lagos State, the system we have is one of the best. But in other states, I can speak for them. Like in Anambra State, that since 2003, they've not had any election. We need to have something like a commission, like a national commission that will be in charge of all the state electoral commission. You understand? That will be conducting elections into all the local government. You can't put it under INEC. They already have loads of work to do. Then we need to have the like ways to go, the programs. We need to highlight the activities, of the local government. We need to have a book for them. You understand? So that everyone will have a focus. Okay, these are the things I'm supposed to do without, trampling on the activities of maybe other states or the federal government. We need to put everything in place. We are moving towards that area, but we need to divide all the activities of the local, of the state, by removing everything, anything that will cause, touching what has to do with the activities of the state. Then if they are fully independent, the election is being done maybe unilaterally, and we have elected chairman in place, then the financial autonomy that we're looking for will be fruitful and we will be successful.
Talking about elections, are you saying INEC should not conduct local government elections?
INEC already has loads of work. Immediately after the general election, do you know how many court cases they have? They have a lot of cases. Even if you look at the PVC, the PVC, I think it should also work like an ATM, if I'm not mistaken. There's a chip on it. Have you noticed that?
Yes, there is.
They have not even gotten to that level. They have not. Even the cases they say haven't got, they're still battling with them. You understand? So the best thing is to have like a commission in place that will be in charge of. I can't say you stop all the state electoral. No, let them come together to be under that body. Then we can unilaterally have one elections into all the local governments. They'll be in one in charge. They will administer. Then they will be able to monitor the funds coming in, the funds going out. They will have more to do by then. They will have more to do. Not that they will still be in the state. The state governors will still be there, but like a watchdog.
So who's going to be funding them? If you say a commission, all the states' electoral commission should be under a commission, who's going to be funding them?
The funding is coming from the federal government. Don't we?
Won't it make the local governments subservient to the federal government, since also allocations are coming from the federal government?
No, I just said something now. The constitution is very clear. It's very clear. This area has to do with the administration, as in the elections. The elections that will bring in the chairman. We have financial autonomy. This is just to bring freedom, to bring development, to bring government more closer to the people. I believe even the state governors should be happy with this. That's the way I think they should be happy with the development. If these things should work the way Mr. President has envisaged it, then we'll be looking at Nigeria in the next maybe few years, Nigeria becoming more like the UK, more like the US, like the Canada. Things are working on their own. We have institutions in place. You can't be merging things. You are here. You've not even fully performed there. You are overseeing this. You want to lord over this. You want to do. Everything should be working independently. The chairman should focus on their work. There should be a commission in place like the EFCC, like the ICPC. If they mismanage public funds, people know where to go to. It is my money. It is your money. You understand? It's our responsibility to be on these people's neck. Don't mismanage our funds. So all these things will work if we allow it to work. We need to put things in place. Everything will work independently and the way we want it.
Ayo, do you support the motion, or do you think INEC should handle local government elections as well?
Well, I have a departure from some of the contemporary things that is tied to what they are put together as a question. What I think should be done is, for short term, middle, and long term. For the short term, like what the president is doing now, sent a bill to the National Assembly, right, to harmonize all of these things and come up with a commission to conduct election, like the National Assembly people are trying to do right now. But in the long term, will be that we develop a system whereby you have little or no human interference, a technological system. And this system will guarantee the trust of the people, will also put every elected official on their toes.
Can that happen?
It can happen.
We have areas where they not even have stable networks.
No, forget about that. It can happen. It can happen. Look, there's a technology called blockchain right now, right? You can develop a system whereby what you feed in cannot be corrupted, right? As long as there's no human interference that cannot corrupt that system. We have data now, right? The bank have data, right? I've forgotten the name of this commission in the federal government. They've gathered a lot of data. They've gathered a lot of data. Plug this data, to INEC. Let all these data come together. Now, when you have that, it becomes an inroad to apply this technology so that even if you come with your INEC card that has that chip, right, you can plug it in. Regardless of that, your thumbprint or your iris. In some countries now, if you go to the Arabian countries, they don't really use thumbprints anymore. They use your iris. And the iris is also domesticated to each and every one of us, right? So if we can gather all of these data, which is very, very possible, I understand that the Nigerian government is about carrying out another census. Now, these census will be technologically driven. Even if you are in Bashiga, right, they will get somebody to go there, get your thumbprint, get your iris, and we can even move to DNA, right? They can get DNA samples, plug your thumbprint, plug your iris, plug your DNA sample into this thing, feed it into the system. You can't get it wrong. So when you come to the system, it's either you plug in your thumbprint, put in your iris, it gives us your data, and you do what you have to do.
Okay, for want of time, I'll just ask one question that we both can answer. what lessons can be learned from international best practices as it relates to local government autonomy?
The lessons will be that we improve on our system, right? Development will be cascaded and will be very rapid. Corruption will be nipped down, dangerously down, because people will understand that if you do it, you spend time, right? And in the local government, they don't have immunity, right? You commit wrong, you're gone. It's not like the state government or whatever that you do it and you continue to be in government, nobody can touch you, right? If you put the cookie jar there, once you touch it, the anti-graft catches you, you're in court. Then we also have to work on our judicial system. There must be a specialized court, because you are going to have, we have 774 local government. Okay. There must be a specialized court that will dispense this judicial process in a very speedy manner. And the press must be hinged to it to monitor it. There must be civic engagement, right? Using your phones or what have you. So the more you catch it, the more you throw it, the more others will sit right, and the more we'll get it right.
So Adeoye.
Well, it's very easy. The democracy we're practicing more like that of the United States. So if we are looking towards that kind of country, a good country like the US, then we should do it the way it should. Okay. Let everyone focus on its duties, give everybody autonomy as it has been spelled out in the Constitution. Let's follow the due process. Then we will see the rapid growth and development we require in our nation. We can do it. If you go out there, other nations will tell you Nigeria is rich, Nigeria is good, we are great people. If you go out there, Nigerians are doing, very well out there. They're performing wonderfully well. Then if we put all these things in place, our people will not be jackpotting. They'll not be moving out. Yes, we'll have people who partner with the local government. We'll have people who will contribute, immensely to the growth and development of where they grow up. You understand? So, and if people have trust in the government of the day, they would not move out of the country. They would contribute their quota. They'll also benefit from the system as well, because when the system there's transparency, and then the chairman, they're honest. Everyone has integrity. They will trust the system. They will not move out. They contribute their quota. Whatever they are earning, they will also bring back into the system so as to bring more happiness to the families.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for talking to us at this time on this issue of local government autonomy. Of course, we've had Ayodele Adewale, who is the immediate past chairman of Amowodofin local government in Lagos State. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Also, we had Maiwa Adeoye, who is the president, Brighter Future and Change Ambassadors, who's also serving as the senior legislative aide for Shomolu Federal Constituency at the National Assembly. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Of course, it's been an interesting discussion this morning. That's Standpoint this week. Remember, you can watch the repeat broadcast at 11 p.m. tonight and at 5 a.m. on Sunday. Thanks for watching. I am Theophilus Elama.